6 locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the 40th anniversary season of the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Were you really worried? Come on. We knew we were going to do this. Yeah, that was amazing. Just like Dan said, we're coming off of turn 4 for the checkers, and we're not on yet. Well, we're on now. Hi there. Todd Bailing in Phoenix, Arizona, joined by my fantastic group of friends and staff, Brian Schmidt in Utzberg, USA. Morning, Brian.
Morning. We're in full-fledged off-season mode right now, so whatever little racing you could find to watch, you watch. And there's a little bit on. That's about it.
And that's about the reason I would stay up that late as I had to last night. PJ Noodleman of Trempealeau, Wisconsin. Hi, PJ. Uh-oh. Did I disappear? Did she?
Oh, she must have disappeared.
Oh, all right. Well, that was interesting. We'll get
Hey
back.
there. I hope you can hear me. I can't hear you very well.
Oh, technical issues.
Technology, you got to love it.
You know, and of course, Dan Margetta of St. Francis, our producer, director, and business associate. Hi, Dan.
Good morning. And yeah, it's an off season. Not much racing, but quite a lot of news this week.
Oh my God, unbelievable! By the way, there is some programming. There's a programming note. The NASCAR banquet, which was recorded Friday night.
Correct.
In Charlotte, is going to be shown today on the CW in Milwaukee. That's channel 18. Check your local listings. It starts at 2:00 this afternoon, and I would say that's going to be head-to-head with the Packers, isn't it?
Packers start at 3:30.
Packers at 3:30, yeah. But not out here, of course, because the Cardinals play at the same time as the Packers, so they preempt, and there's no Packer game on out here. What a bunch of BS. That's what you get to learn to live without, I guess. So you'll be wanting to tape it, if nothing else, or that's what I call it. It's recorded off your DVR is what it really is. But all right, so as we alluded to, there's lots of things going on in the world of NASCAR this week. I suppose all the people being named to things, crew chiefs, there were 4 crew chiefs named this week. Austin Dillon in the number 3 car gets Richard Boswell. I can't say I guess I've heard the name before. Boy, when I want to know who these guys are, I usually ask Dan Margetta. Did you ever hear of this guy?
Yeah, he came from Stewart-Haas.
Really? Who was he with?
I thought he was on the 98 car for a while, wasn't he? The Xfinity car? I mean, a long time ago. And if he still was there, but that's kind of where he kind of made his mark. And yeah, he's been around a while.
All right. Denny Hamlin had his crew chief ripped away from him, whether he likes it or not. Chris Gabehart was his crew chief. He becomes the new competition director at Gibbs Racing, so he gets Chris Gale, who came over from the 54 after that outstanding number of victories they had over there. I can't imagine that Hamlin is all that thrilled about this. They yanked his other crew chief out from underneath him and gave him Gabehart. Now he's working pretty well with Gabehart. They rip him away and they give him this Chris Gale guy, the very popular Chris Gale among the employees over there at Gibbs Racing. And where did he must have a good resume somewhere, right?
Well, he's been with Gibbs a long time. I think he started like in 2003 as like a race
Xfinity program.
He been around. I mean, he was up at Eric Jones. I think he went to when Eric Jones drove that 77 car for Furniture Row. I think he was there. Then he came back and he was Jones' crew chief. Got 2 victories there. And then when Christopher Bell came into the 20 car, they pushed him back down the Xfinity series. We worked with, I think, the 54 car, a whole bunch of drivers like Kyle Busch, I think was one of them. I think John Hunter Nemechek. Then he hooked up with Ty Gibbs. They won the championship. And then they brought him up when Ty Gibbs came into Cup. So he's kind of been bounced around, but he's been with Gibbs for 20-some years.
37 Xfinity victories, so that's a pretty decent resume on that side.
It is. Dan, it astounds me. All the shit it just blows me away. John Hunter Nemechek, that's a new crew chief. Travis Mack. Where do we know this guy from? I'm trying to find. Well,
did he come from Colleague, Brian?
Oh, he was a crew chief at Junior Motorsports, Trackhouse, and Colleague, and I believe he was the crew chief for the first win for our crazy Mexican friend. So I think that he goes back that far. Anyway, Travis Mack is now with Nemechek over at the Legacy Motor Club. And Brad Keselowski's finally, it was announced. It's not a surprise. We talked about it last week. Jeremy Bullins, who had been with Keselowski before, comes over to help out on a 6-car. I think things are turning around over there. If you look at it, this week they announced it finally, and no surprise again, but the official announcement was made that Ryan Preece has come over to the number 60 car, the Roush freaking Keselowski number 60 car. They bring Kroger along, and they get a charter from Rick Ware. It turns out this Rick Ware dude and his motorsports team are located right inside the same facility as RFK Racing. So that's one of their it's a satellite team, and Rick Ware is going to lease one of his charters over there for a year. Yeah, and this is where the Kroger money goes. So in other words, the 47 car, Stenhouse, now lost their sponsor, Tad Geschickter, which is just fun saying his name, I guess. Geschickter is out. The new owner is Gordon Smith. Dan, the reason Geschickter is out is I don't know how much money he actually had in the program before.
Well, I think they ran the marketing company, or the company that controlled the Kroger sponsorship. So it was pretty important for that team for a while.
Yeah.
Now he took that over. There was some talk that was going to the Gibbs organization, and apparently it didn't, and Keselowski ended up getting it over all 3 cars. It's a pretty big deal. There's 20 brands there, I think, that they represent, and good for them. But that's why, Geschickter can't be a part of the 47 anymore, because the sponsor's over at Roush. He's probably going to do something over there.
Right. PJ, this marketing thing, it's kind of a big deal, especially for Kroger.
It is, and it's very smart. It's kind of like what Menards does as well, too. So they are like a store, and then they have like maybe 20 brands that actually buy into the program. They get end cap space in the grocery aisle, or as in the case of Menards, end cap space there. So it's kind of a scratch each other's back, and then they get the funds to put toward it, and it's kind of a write-off, too. So that's good as well.
Advertising money.
I like what they call it, shelf trade. I think it's like a shelf trade deal.
Yep.
I remember the Crown car used to run way back when, in like the late 80s and early 90s. I think Parsons drove it, Phil Parsons. It was a 55 car. That was U.S. Tobacco Skoal money, but Crown was on the car because all the Skoal products are on the premium shelf space and Crown stations around the country.
Oh, my. That's that trade stuff, professional trades. Isn't that what I believe, if I remember right, that Valvoline is in cahoots with Hendrick? Don't they all their dealerships use nothing but Valvoline, which is also a trade kind of a thing, and I believe Penske is in bed with Pennzoil also. So
right.
All right, well, it makes sense. Anyway, this new outfit, now that Geschickter is gone, is called Hayek Racing, which Dan, he knows.
Bless you.
Yeah, I know. Dan knows how to speak Eskimo, apparently, because this is some kind of Eskimo word, right?
That was in their press release. It said Hayek means fast in Chinook jargon. It was in the press release.
Chinook. That's it, Chinook. It's not just a salmon, it's a language. All right. Well, Hayek, which on the internet, by the way, they're calling it Hyaktua. Isn't that beautiful? I love reading some of the shit that they put on there. This outfit is Hayek Maritime. Gordon Smith is the president of Hayek Maritime, and they construct, get this now, fleet-ready tugboats and heavy marine transportation. And by the way, for those of you who are wondering where Brad Daugherty, the famous number 43 from the Cleveland Cavaliers, he's a minority owner along with Ernie Cope and another guy whose name I don't have here. But so Brad Daugherty, his name was taken off the door, unfortunately for Brad, but he still is part of the Hiaktua Racing. So you'll find that. We're going to sneak away for our first break. Today, you're only hearing us online. We are only on Facebook, and well, there's a list of all our sites we're on, but there's also this fantastic download you can do and listen to it later. We'll be back.
Hey, Matthew, give me a hand with this tree.
Dad, let's get a real tree this year.
Hey, leave that fake tree in the box under the basement steps this year. Get a real tree from PMF Landscape on River Road in West Bend. Any kind of real tree imaginable, up to 18 feet. A huge assortment of Christmas decorations, including wreaths in 3 sizes, cemetery wreaths, festive global hanging ornaments, bows, garland roping, and more. Stop in 7 days a week during the holiday season, have refreshments, and check everything out. How about a PMF gift certificate? The perfect gift. PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 South River Road in West Bend. Call them 262-338-8800.
Dad, our tree from PMF Landscape looks great.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
And welcome back to the program. Thanks for joining us on the internet today. Let's see. Well, this was kind of interesting news as they're getting ready and people are coming in with their tuxedos and suits and ladies with fine-looking dresses, and they get asked, who are you wearing? What the hell is this? A banquet? It's a NASCAR banquet. This is in Hollywood. Most of them didn't have any clue, but they got to talking to Martin Truex a little bit, and he did confirm that he's planning on racing in the Daytona 500, which means, he's not really retired yet. He's got one more race before he goes into his semi-retirement, which means he'll race when and where he can get a decent car. But he did say he's not going to be driving for the 2311 team, which is, I guess, not a real surprise because they don't really know what the hell they're doing themselves right now. How can you make plans for a season when, by your own choice, you've thrown your entire business into a big question mark as you're trying to fight NASCAR? Get over it. Sign the deal. I don't know. That's just me. Either way, so he's gonna show up at Daytona, and he said, but it won't be in a 2311 car. Well, then you say to yourself, well, who could he possibly drive for then? He's a Toyota guy, first of all. You can almost guarantee, I say almost because, you never really know, but so it's probably going to be a Toyota. Well, who are your choices? Well, you have Joe Gibbs. No, there's 4 cars there. They used to have provisions for a 5th, Dan, didn't they? When they maybe a rookie or a limited schedule. I can't believe this doesn't fall under that.
I think the new charter agreement modified that. I think now it's 3 in a part-time, so 4 total instead of 5.
Well, it's 4. Well, no. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. Those other guys were grandfathered into the old deal, weren't they?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that. All right, so there's only one more Toyota, I think, and that'd be Legacy Motorsports. So the way it's figured, apparently, Legacy will be listed as the car owner, and it'll be a Gibbs car. They'll have to put an unknown number. Boy, they ought to paint that thing black and put number 78 on it. Wouldn't that be cool?
Speaking of 78, the 78 car's still around, isn't it? Isn't BJ McLeod's Live Fast car? That's the 78 that they've had. Yep. Why don't you bring that team? You usually show that team shows up at Daytona with a car and hopes to, squeak their way in. But what if they show up with a Gibbs car?
Oh, wouldn't that be something? And that's been done before. This is how Bobby Dotter got his 07 car suddenly to win a race. Where was that? It was on a road course, wasn't it?
California. No, I think California.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. So, you're shuffling. You're just playing with the rules. And I did see that Hamlin said they're not going to show up for the Clash unless, I don't know. I don't know if that deal is going to be done.
Chartered cars are required to run the Clash. Open cars are not.
Oh. Well, that would answer that. I'm not sure that the drivers will be all that thrilled about it. They would like to participate in this cluster that's coming, on that crazy football.
Sure about that?
Right?
I don't know if they all want to.
That's funny.
I think if you owe somebody something and you got some paybacks to dish out, you want to go run the Clash.
It's a weird place for a race, but what the hell? Let's do something different. Let's I tell you what, let's go out and pave the LA Coliseum. That was a great idea too, wasn't it? So that's we don't know if they're going to show up yet. I got a feeling that lawsuit's going to be done by then. Just my idea. I'm probably completely wrong. As we were doing this program last week, Tony Stewart became a father. Leah had a little boy by the name of Dominic James. Dominic J. Stewart was born last Sunday, so it was pretty cool. And Tony was with her when the baby was born, and I think it was out here in Lake Havasu, Arizona.
Phoenix. She had the baby in Phoenix.
Oh, she did.
Went to the big city. Yep.
Where they actually have hospitals. That's fun. And then he flew back to Pomona and raced later in the day and was voted by the media for Rookie of the Year in that series, even though his record wasn't as stellar as others. He brought more eyes. I'll guarantee you he brought more eyes onto that sport than any driver of recent memory. So good for him. A big day for the Stewart family, and that's pretty cool. They've been trying, and they finally did it. That's pretty awesome. If you'd like to participate in this program, even though we're not on the radio, you can still call the same number, 414-421-7901, and give us your take on anything that we're talking about or anything else you'd like to bring up. We'd love to hear it. Dan, you understand charters. I tell you what, we've got a little time before the break, not long, but I'm going to come back, and I'd like you to come up with our legal update, what's been going on in the world of NASCAR and the courts, and then we'll talk a little more about some of the other things that...
It's actually some developments this week on that. I mean,
there's dominoes will fall. Let's take a break first and then come back, and Dan the lawyer will fill us all in. I think I hear that music playing. There it is. We'll be right back.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Hey, Matthew, give me a hand with this tree.
Dad, let's get a real tree this year.
Hey, leave that fake tree in the box under the basement steps this year. Get a real tree from PMF Landscape on River Road in West Bend. Any kind of real tree imaginable, up to 18 feet. A huge assortment of Christmas decorations, including wreaths in 3 sizes, cemetery wreaths, festive global hanging ornaments, bows, garland roping, and more. Stop in 7 days a week during the holiday season, have refreshments, and check everything out. How about a PMF gift certificate? The perfect gift. PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 South River Road in West Bend. Call them 262-338-8800.
Dad, our tree from PMF Landscape looks great.
The checkered flag is waved over the racing season at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Congratulations to the champions, Brad Miller, Will Source, Travis Schmidt, and Ben Schmidt. Plymouth Dirt Track Racing thanks all the drivers and pit crews for their ongoing dedication. The loyal, dedicated track workers are the best at what they do every week. A big thank you also to the many businesses for their sponsorships, and of course the fans who make it all possible. The green flag will wave for another season next spring. We'll see you there.
Welcome back. Nice of you to join us this beautiful Sunday morning. I don't know what it's like where you are, but it's nice here. It's always nice here. Dan, this legal business, you follow it a little closer than I do because it gets frustrating trying to understand what all injunctions are going on.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of motions, and they remember they filed for that in preliminary injunction that they were denied. That was the first step in this deal. They wanted to keep their charter going as long as the court case was going. They got denied on that. In that case, the judge said they could refile if they wanted to, but they had to show, real harm and not theoretical harm. Not like we could lose, drivers or sponsors. You have to show you actually did it. And they're going to tend to refile that motion now for another injunction, and they're going to. What they put in the way they worded it said they intend to file a motion for preliminary injunction in the court with additional evidence of changed circumstances. Now, I remember the first time around, the judge said, we could lose sponsors or drivers isn't good enough. You got to show me real harm where it happened. Now, you think about it, Martin Truex Jr. now is not driving a 2311 car. Everybody thought he was going to do it for Daytona. Maybe did they lose that driver-wise, or did they lose a sponsor or something that was supposed to be on that car? And part of this refiling in the motion, they're going to ask for part of it to be sealed. In other words, so we can't really see what the evidence they're going to show. They want to keep that sealed because I guess the way it is right now, if they're really going to lose a sponsor or have a driver that could become a free agent because without a charter, and they put that out there, you know how the world is in NASCAR. It's like, sharks with blood in the water. Everybody's going to try to just steal their sponsor or steal their drivers. Sure. So we'll see how that goes when they refile this thing and see if here we go again. Yeah.
Now, so there's something that I don't get, and I'm sure you will understand this a lot better than I did. So they announced NASCAR is moving forward like they are going to run with 32 charters instead of 36 charters. Is that right?
That's what they said, and it was the 45, the 23, and then the 34 and the 38. Those are the 4 charters that were not included in this because that's the ones that are part of this lawsuit.
Part of the lawsuit. All right. So this week, 2311 announces that Riley Herbst, which, by the way, why don't you put somebody in there that could drive a little better? I don't know. Is Herbst really that good? He brings money with him, and that's the problem with racing nowadays. He's a half-assed driver that has a lot of money. And he's going to.
He's got 3 wins, and he thinks he's good. If you would have listened to his press conference after Phoenix,
yeah, no kidding.
He could have taken a whole guy out of the championship. I'm so good. Well, they don't have a charter for this new car yet, number 35. Supposedly, it's going to be one of the Stewart-Haas charters. And if the lawsuit wasn't going on, apparently it would be. So Riley Herbst is going to be in number 35. But this charter supposedly is included with the 32 that are going to race. So help me here. Why, if it's a 2311 charter Or they haven't bought it yet, have they?
No, not officially. I mean, the agreement was there to buy it, but it hasn't been officially pushed through the whole process to do it. That's what makes it things. We don't know what's going to happen with that charter. Same with the third one for Front Row. They each have one of the old Stuart Haas ones that are included in that 32. Do you just not include it then if this lawsuit keeps going and they don't sign it? And we have 30 charters. I mean, the other rest of the charter teams would like that because then they get a bigger piece of the prize money pie because you have two less teams divided up.
Split it 32 ways.
And I wonder what is Riley Herbst going to get paid? I mean, what did he agree to as far as terms? Here's a team that might not have a charter. He's desperate. He had no other place to go. He's bringing some sponsorship. I mean, I can't imagine that Riley Herbst is going to get any kind of a large wage as it is right now by signing on to drive for them. I mean, is he maybe the guy that's going to, he's bringing the money instead of getting paid from 2311? Is that why he's in that car?
PJ, what confuses me is he's bringing monster money, and all they can really offer Riley Herbst. They got this terrible Herbst gasoline station chain in Las Vegas. They must sell a lot of energy drinks to be able to afford to bring this kid into NASCAR, huh?
Well, it is Vegas, and I'm not going to speak out of turn on this, but there could be some underhanded deals going on in Vegas. Who knows? Who knows what he's involved in?
It's probably another trade deal where I bet you go in the gas stations in Vegas. I bet you'll see Monster Energy right at
For
eye
sure.
level on itself.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But really, how much can you sell with a chain of gas stations, I guess?
Well, it is Vegas, the city that never
the city.
sleeps.
Hey, speaking of Vegas, wasn't that Chicago? Hey, no, it's New York. Dan, we had a race in Las Vegas last night, and you guys, I'm saying Dan because you're the one most likely to have stayed up and watched it live.
I did stay up and watch it live, and it was all right. It was just a typical Formula One race. It wasn't a complete runaway like some of them have been. The Mercedes cars finished first and second, and Max Verstappen won the championship. I don't think they had many.
Oh, now you ruined it for me. I haven't seen it yet. No, I don't really care. Is that right? Verstappen, he was qualified like sixth or something, didn't he? Fifth or sixth?
Yeah, he finished ahead of the McLaren driver Norris, so he's going to wrap up the championship. And it's kind of funny is because he went over to Zach Brown, who runs the McLaren team, and I think he made the comments like, I guess I don't have to have the fastest car to win or something like that because they haven't been as dominant as they were in the past.
Oh, all right. Did either of you other two stay up and watch that?
I didn't
No, I
stay
did
up to
not.
watch that.
It's on my
I did
DVR,
watch.
though.
I watched the Carolina 400 though from Florence.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit when we do results.
Hangover kept me out last night till midnight anyway, so I got home and it was on, so just stayed up
You
and
went to
watched.
the Hairbangers Ball or something like that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Dan, you pack more into a day than anybody I know.
Not just that, PJ. But let's just spin the old Rolodex and find out which of his many friends he took with him.
Bevy of babes.
Yeah, he's got a bevy, all right. Well, so much for the courts and Riley Herbst, and he's in a car, or is he? Do they have a charter? Do they have a lawsuit? My God, let's get this thing moving, then get it over with, because actually it's losing its luster. I just don't think court motions and positioning and more lawyers are not what we really need right now.
And be honest here. At the end of the day, NASCAR's going to win because NASCAR's always going to win. So even if 2311, air quotes, wins, NASCAR will see to it that they lose on the track.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure something out and pretty quickly. I think. I think they're probably. I would guess they'd probably sign a deal right now if it was out there. Now the question is NASCAR going to let them? You pushed us this far. How much are we going to let you back in the fold without smacking you around a little bit?
Do a statement saying how silly you were to think that we didn't have your best interest at mind, because that's how they do business. Todd Gilliland is the new flagship bearer for that front row team, and he's going to take the number 34 that was recently abandoned. I'm trying to figure out. They're going to a 3-car team, right? They're going to get another one of the charters from Stuart Haas, Dan?
Right, yeah. They have one, and 2311 had the other one, the two that were out there. Their third car hasn't been announced yet or anything yet because I think they're waiting on this. But everybody says Zane Smith's going to go there. But we'll see. I mean, Noah Gregson's got a signed deal over there, too. He'll be in one of the cars.
Gilliland, Gregson, and Zane. Sounds like mid-pack to me. Let's take a break here. I had that feeling the clock was being friendly to me. We'll be back after these.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Well, that's perfect music for an announcement. We'll keep playing that. We're happy to announce, even though it's been announced already, Lance Allen is landed on his feet. He's a new sports director at CBS 58. That's just fantastic news for racing, for one, but for our friend Lance, too. He had, and I didn't know this. He didn't tell me this until we just figured it out. He had a 3-month non-compete clause in his contract. And right at the end of the 3 months, he announces that he is taking over for Kevin Holden as the sports director at CBS 58. By the way, Kevin Holden is off to Raleigh-Durham. He's going to have a similar job with a TV station in Raleigh-Durham. So he's landed on his feet, too. But this is really, really good news for Lance. Now, we were going to have him on the program today. There's 3 reasons why we didn't. One, I'd rather have him on when we're actually doing on the radio because I want everybody to hear his story more than what we have on just on the internet. 2, the non-compete is gone next week, and it's still going on right now, and it's hard to talk freely when there's a non-compete clause holding over your head. And 3, he's up north hunting, Rice Lake, which is where he's from. So we hope to have him next week to talk about everything, how it went down at Channel 4 and how he, it's kind of funny. Kevin Holden comes out here to spring training, and I saw him last year, and we were talking. And in the course of our conversation, I mentioned to him, because I knew before Lance had announced it, that he was going to be gone from Channel 4 and that they weren't going to renew his contract. And Kevin was very interested in, wow, that happened to him. Yeah. I forgot to tell him the other part. Yeah, and then they're going to fire you, and they're going to hire Lance to take your place, because that's pretty much what happened. But very good news that Kevin got a good gig down there in Raleigh-Durham, too. So great news for us around here that Lance has landed on his feet. So,
and those of you that haven't, that listen to our network of stations here, Lance has been on the game for all the Badger post game. So it's not been a good year for that, but he's had to listen to the people call and complain about Badger football all season here. So.
Yeah, and he grew a mustache, and his TV hair is a little too long, and he doesn't shave every day. Hey, that's how it is in radio, baby. Some of us do this in our underwear, I hear. I'm told. So good news. We're all happy for Lance. It's good for us. It's good for the racing community to have Lance Allen back on the air in Milwaukee. So we mentioned that Ty Gibbs is losing his crew chief. This Chris Gale is going over to Hamlin. But they did not announce a new crew chief for Mr. Gibbs yet. It's getting kind of late in the game. And so therefore, the new crew chief is probably going to get some kind of there'll be an internal name, somebody that's already working at Gibbs. It seems that way to me anyway, unless they had somebody on the hook that they hadn't talked about. So there's someone there that's going to need a nice promotion, and we'll team up with the kid. And I would say that's a good idea, actually. They need to he's still young. He certainly hasn't lost any talent. We just have to get it put the right direction and have a new crew chief.
The team kind of had a bad second half of the year, the whole Gibbs organization. They won 11 car won 3 races, a 20 car won 3 races, but at the second half of the year and through the playoffs, they really weren't all that good as an organization. So I think that's why they moved Gabehart up into that competition director. They haven't had one since 2022, so they kind of needed somebody there for that. And that 54 team has had decent runs. They just haven't closed the deal yet. And I think once you close the deal and get over, kind of open the floodgates kind of thing, they got to get someone to have Ty Gibbs get over that hump to at least get that win, because he's run up front a lot. It just doesn't close the deal out.
No. As far
they got to fill crew chief spots for all 3 of their Xfinity rides too. The 18, 19, and 20 are all at this point vacant for next year. So there's a lot of promotions and moving around that has to be done at Gibbs.
That's a lot of internal shuffling right there. Who's
it is.
Oh my! They got to look for 4 total crew chiefs.
Yeah, Swalich needs a crew chief for his Xfinity ride next year. Brandon Jones is back at Gibbs, and he doesn't have one in the 20 car. They haven't even announced who's going to drive that car. I think that's going to be a shuffling of drivers again, like they did this year.
Yeah, probably. And didn't it win the championship with the shuffle going on?
Well, they were close, but they didn't because Allgaier won the whole thing. Allgaier was a part of the owners championship as well, so he won. They won it all.
Oh, that's right.
I think the 00 was the one that was in the Final Four that did not have an owners championship.
Oh, okay. Joe Gibbs, speaking of Joe Gibbs Racing, they have a new policy now. They didn't say short track racing. They didn't say any racing outside of NASCAR. They said that their drivers may race in dirt races. And so C. Bell, C. Briscoe, and T. Gibbs are all going to be able to drive on dirt. Gibbs never drove on dirt before, did he, Brian?
No, that was not his thing. But this is more for Chase and Christopher, who big into USAC stuff. And C. Bell hasn't been in a lot of USAC races lately. If you noticed, he owned Kyle Larson for many years when they would both race the Chili Bowl and all those other events. So now C. Bell he's been wanting to do this for a while, and Briscoe owns his own midget team, and he would love to get back at it. He had a sprint car team as well. So I think this was part of Briscoe going over there was, hey, can I still do this? And, these guys aren't making as much as they did before, so this allows them that avenue to race that stuff. And in the dirt racing, your apparel sales is almost as much as you make racing itself. So this is a big income for these guys.
Hey, Kyle Busch is getting a midget for the Chili Bowls. Maybe Hamlin will get in one too.
Kyle Busch, yep.
Larson and Bell used to be the names at the Chili Bowl. Now it's going to be Chase Briscoe, Rowdy. Who else, Dan?
No, I said if Kyle Busch is going to get in a midget, maybe who knows? The way this crazy year's gone, maybe Denny Hamlin will get in one too.
Hamlin, there you go.
Larson may be back out there again too, because he's not doing the dirt late model thing anymore with Rumley. So you may see Larson pop back in at the Chili Bowl this year.
Didn't they have some kind of big issues with the pay and all that? I know it's up from where it was, but maybe they'll say it's good enough because it's fun to race.
Better. It was improved over the last couple of years since he made that public, or made a big publicity stunt about it. So it's better than it was before. So
aired his dirty laundry. That's what we say about that. Well, whatever. The more the merrier. We're going to sneak away for a break. We've got some results. True, probably not as many as we've had in the past, but they're still racing. We'll be back.
Hey, Matthew, give me a hand with this tree.
Dad, let's get a real tree this year.
Hey, leave that fake tree in the box under the basement steps this year. Get a real tree from PMF Landscape on River Road in West Bend. Any kind of real tree imaginable, up to 18 feet. A huge assortment of Christmas decorations, including wreaths in 3 sizes, cemetery wreaths, festive global hanging ornaments, bows, garland roping, and more. Stop in 7 days a week during the holiday season, have refreshments, and check everything out. How about a PMF gift certificate? The perfect gift. PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 South River Road in West Bend. Call them 262-338-8800.
Dad, our tree from PMF Landscape looks great.
The checkered flag is waved over the racing season at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Congratulations to the champions, Brad Miller, Will Source, Travis Schmidt, and Ben Schmidt. Plymouth Dirt Track Racing thanks all the drivers and pit crews for their ongoing dedication. The loyal, dedicated track workers are the best at what they do every week. A big thank you also to the many businesses for their sponsorships, and of course the fans who make it all possible. The green flag will wave for another season next spring. We'll see you there.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Dirt season winding down across the country here. You got to look far and wide to find some events that are going on. There's still a couple. We'll start Wednesday. Tulare, California. The USAC National Midget Car Series is out there. And Carson Macedo hopped in a midget, won the feature. He also hopped in a 360 wing sprint car and won that as well. The rest of the midgets were supposed to be racing this weekend in Merced, but that rained out. So I don't know if they're going to make them up before next week's big. Next week is the big Turkey Night Grand Prix at Ventura, but stay tuned for that. Friday night, Casa Grande, Arizona. Todd, you were there at the Central Arizona Raceway for an IMCA event, correct?
Yes, we were. Perfect night for racing. It was. It's televised on this IMCA.TV. But my God, that's an expensive outfit. They're charging like $66 to watch the 3-day show.
So you might as well just hop in the car and go watch it, right? And that's what you did.
Right. And
always better in person.
Good show. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. The IMCA Modifieds, Chaz Baca was your winner. IMCA Stock Cars went to Chaz Baca as well. And the IMCA Sport Mods, Taylor Cool, good friend of ours, friend of the program, picked up the win in that. So good for her.
First time we got to see her win a feature. It was pretty exciting.
Yes, it was. They also raced in Barberville, Florida, Volusia Speedway Park for the 11th annual Emil and Dale Reutemann Memorial for the UMP Modifieds. They ran 4 preliminary events for those Modifieds. Ethan Dotson, Glenn Elliott, Trevor Neville, and Kyle Strickler were the preliminary feature winners. Last night, they did it again in Casa Grande, Arizona, Central Arizona Speedway. In the Modifieds, it was Colin Hibden, and the IMCA Stock Cars went to Wisconsin's own Cole Sarneski. Grabbed the win. He's having a heck of a season. That's for sure. And
got
wins
to talk
wherever
to
he
these
goes.
guys quite a bit in the pits afterwards, and a really great bunch of people. They got their modified and their stock car are out here for the winter, so they're going to kind of fly back and forth and run some of the specials out here.
And he will be a threat in every race he enters. Shelbyville, Tennessee, the Duck River Raceway Park, the Gobbler, $6,000 to win for the Super Late Models went to, I never heard this guy's name before, Oakley Johns was your winner. Name we'll have to look out. The Modifieds were there, and Kenny Schrader, the ageless wonder, just continues to win. He won the Modified feature last night at Duck River.
Pretty
Norman
awesome.
Park, Norman Park, Georgia, Needmore Speedway Park, the Early Bird 50 for the Crate Racing USA 604 Crate Late Models, $10,000 to win. Joseph Brown was your winner. And the final event of the weekend, probably the biggest paying one, was the Reutemann Memorial at Volusia Speedway Park for the UMP Modifieds, and Kyle Strickler took home the money in that one. Other big news this week on the dirt side, we've been patiently waiting for the World of Outlaws to release their sprint car schedule. The late model schedule was released during the World Finals, but the sprint car one wasn't. And yes, we've been hoping for this one for years, and on Friday night, June 6th, the World of Outlaws sprint cars will return to our own Plymouth dirt track here. Plymouth Dirt Track, a good partner of ours. Excited to see them here. I saw their PR guy at work here the other day and asked him about it, and he kind of smiled at me and says, what do you know? And I said, well, what do you know? And he said June 6th, and they announced it the very, very next day. So Friday night, June 6th, World of Outlaw Sprint Cars at Plymouth. That's a 3-race weekend. There'll be the 7th at Beaver Dam, and on the 8th down at Sun Prairie. July 11th and 12th, the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars will be at Wilmot, and a new event for them, August 19th, that's a Tuesday night at the Mississippi Thunder Speedway in Fountain Park. So once we get to the end of the month, we'll go through more of the national schedules, but just a sneak peek, and everybody, especially here in Sheboygan County, is excited to see the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars back in town. That'll be a big event.
That week is going to be something with High Limit coming to 141 on the 3rd, and then the 6th, 7th, and 8th with the Outlaws. That's quite a sprint week.
Yeah, we've been waiting for a sprint week. Pennsylvania has one, Ohio has one, Indiana has one. We kind of have one here in Wisconsin with the 2 national tours coming here, so it's going to be an exciting week. If you have vacation, there's your chance to use it.
And I'm sure Dan has already put in for his.
You get that feeling.
It's on the calendar.
Yeah,
yes.
I figured as much. Well, for the asphalt side of things, not a whole lot going on, but last night it was, I guess we could use the word slobber knocker for it. It was the South Carolina 400 at Florence Motor Speedway. Lots of carnage early on in the race. Some fights even broke out. And
why would there be so much interest in this race, PJ?
Well, because Dale Earnhardt Jr. was running it, and he had that iconic Bud number 8 in the field. And he was really on a tear. I mean, his car was wrapping the corners, and he was up to second and about ready to make a charge at Trayton Lapsevich, but he ended up ducking into the pits with 31 laps to go with some mechanical issues. Trayton Lapsevich ended up winning that race. And that was Chad Bryant Racing that Trayton was driving for. Same car that Ty Majeski drove to victory there as well a couple times.
So did Dale Jr. crash Flo like Tyson crashed Netflix?
It sure seemed like it. Holy cats.
That was hard to watch. Boy.
I don't really think, though, that it was on the receiving. I think it was just their signal, Dan. We've experienced that before with people trying to get their signal
out in the middle of nowhere? Isn't that out in the middle of nowhere in South Carolina?
Well, Florence, South Carolina's in the middle of nowhere, it's not a major metropolitan center.
Hurricane there about a month ago probably wiped out some of their infrastructure over the course of the fall as well. So I'm sure
that could be too, Brian. That's a very valid point. Anyway, that's it for that. Getting ready for the big league. Oh, you know what else I was going to tell you though, real quick. I've been kind of conversing with Alex Papini. You might remember him from Rockford Speedway.
I do.
He has this channel on YouTube, FRP Rockford Speedway Video Archive, and he already uploaded the entire 1990 Rockford Speedway season. And he's going to continue to upload. He's got every race from 1982 to 2013. So that's pretty cool.
FRP is Franklin Racing Productions. They used to tape all the races from Lake Geneva, Rockford, and he went to a bunch of them. It was Daryl Franklin, and I guess Alex has his videos now and putting them up on YouTube. That's cool.
It is cool. And then we'd be remiss if we didn't mention a big congratulations to Ty Fredrickson. He was crowned the Kulwicki Driver Development winner, picking up that $54,000 plus check. The other piece of news on that, though, is while they had already entered to run the Bigley Memorial down in Florida at Freedom Factory, they have now pulled out of running that. So no Ty Fredrickson, the newly crowned Kulwicki Driver Development Program. He just won't be heading down south. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're going to build.
Is he going to do the snowball or not? Is he talking about the snowball?
I have not heard. So I don't know. Maybe they're just going to take that winnings and put it towards a good run for 2025. I don't know.
That's a good thing to do with it. That's been done before. Congratulations. By the way, speaking of the Freedom Factory, that's the Billy Bigley 128. Apparently Bigley was number 28 when he ran, and it's quite a draw for Cheeseland up here. Let me tell you, we've got eight Wisconsin drivers and one from Illinois that are all headed down there, and including our own PJ Noodleman and myself will be there next week.
Heck yeah.
It'll be a good. The track is owned by one Cletus McFarland, which if you're at a southern place, the owner by the name of Cletus seems real appropriate, don't it? But Ricky Brooks is running this show, isn't he, Peach?
Yes, he is. He is the promoter of it. That's the United Auto Racing Association that he has for that. So yeah, he's putting it all together. It's pretty exciting, and it's going to be a heck of a purse as well. $30,000 to win.
Not bad.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
And then 2 weeks.
Johnny Sauter's already won. Yes, I'm heading to Pensacola too, but Sauter already won at that track here recently.
Yeah, one of the Wisconsin 8 that'll be coming down there. We'll be right back.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Hey, Matthew, give me a hand with this tree.
Dad, let's get a real tree this year.
Hey, leave that fake tree in the box under the basement steps this year. Get a real tree from PMF Landscape on River Road in West Bend. Any kind of real tree imaginable, up to 18 feet. A huge assortment of Christmas decorations, including wreaths in 3 sizes, cemetery wreaths, festive global hanging ornaments, bows, garland roping, and more. Stop in 7 days a week during the holiday season, have refreshments, and check everything out. How about a PMF gift certificate? The perfect gift. PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 South River Road in West Bend. Call them 262-338-8800.
Dad, our tree from PMF Landscape looks great.
The checkered flag is waved over the racing season at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Congratulations to the champions, Brad Miller, Will Source, Travis Schmidt, and Ben Schmidt. Plymouth Dirt Track Racing thanks all the drivers and pit crews for their ongoing dedication. The loyal, dedicated track workers are the best at what they do every week. A big thank you also to the many businesses for their sponsorships, and of course the fans who make it all possible. The green flag will wave for another season next spring. We'll see you there.
Ricky Brooks runs the show for this one. He's going to be the promoter. Cletus McFarland, and thank you once again to Aaron Baird. His real name is Garrett Mitchell. He plays center field for the Milwaukee Brewers, I guess. No, different guy. Sorry. Same name, different guy. Garrett Mitchell is the guy's real name, but he goes under the name Cletus McFarland. You know, this sounds like some backwoods Carolina thing, don't it? Well, either way. And PJ, you are going to the Snowball Derby also?
Yes, as soon as that Bigley Memorial is done, we load up and we start driving north to Pensacola. And by we, I mean I'm traveling with Toby and Ty and the team.
And so Ty will be going up. Now, do we know who's all raced? Dan, I haven't seen the list like I have for the Bigley race, but it sounds like something that it sounds like something that Trump named, isn't it? It's a Bigley race.
Snowball Derby, I have the entry list in front of me. So far, the Wisconsin guys, we have Luke Fenhouse, Derek Kraus, Johnny DeAngelis, Ty Majeski, and Johnny Sauter on the list. That's it as of right now.
All right. Well, it's a pretty damn good group. And then take those 5 and then add a couple more names for the Bigley, including Casey Johnson and Jeff Storm for sure. As I remember, anyway. I'm trusting my memory. I guess maybe I have it here somewhere. Either way, it's going to be a good show. And you will be able to watch the Bigley race next week. Dan, who's got it?
I think it's on Racing America, and it's a subscriber event, which means there's no extra money for it. It's not like an extra pay-per-view. If you're a subscriber, you can watch it.
So if you took a 1-year deal for the same outfit that handled the Slinger races, you should be able to watch it. And with that kind of a payday, it should be a hell of a race, I'm thinking. And also, it's going to be somebody different carrying a snowball, isn't it? Is it Flo?
It's moving over to Flo.
And Flo has already started. If you're a Flo subscriber, check it out. They did an interview with Rich Bickle on there, and they're going to do a bunch of preview events. The Bickle one is pretty good. doing a bunch of like previewing events leading up to the Snowball. They had something on there last night too. I think they had practice and whatever. They ran a local program there last night. So Flow is all in on this. This is their big push to help asphalt racing, and you see what it did to dirt racing in the last couple of years. One can only hope their footprint on this will help the asphalt guys as well.
Well, that's Matthew Dillner who did the thing with Rich Bickle, and he's the good Dillner brother, and he does phenomenal work. He was also part of with Dale Earnhardt Jr. doing those lost racetracks. So he's a lover of the sport, and he does a really great job storytelling. So good to have him on board to help.
And if you saw the Bickle interview, did you catch how he said he's trying to put something together to go all out next year again, racing full time?
Yep.
He dropped that during that interview, that he's working to put something together, get some sponsorship together, and he'd like to pull a Brett Favre and race a whole nother year again next year.
I don't think that's really been a secret. I think he's long been wanting to come back. You got that itch. It's in your blood. It's hard to let it go. And I think Bickle's shown, too, he still is competitive, right? So if you still got that, it's not really pulling a Brett Favre if you still can actually get her done, right?
Yeah, if he really was bad, we'd send him to the Vikings and let him finish out his career over there.
Hey, now.
There you go. Hey, this all this thing about Truex coming back next year, and he's going to drive in the Daytona 500. Cole Pern, who was his crew chief when he won the championship in 2017, is coming back to crew chief one race with Truex in the Daytona 500. And boy, I don't know about you guys, but doesn't this seem like a real good opportunity for Greg Emmer to come back and be the car chief? Because after all, they did win a Cup championship together. They will say.
The way you're thinking.
Yeah. The real answer to that, and I know the real answer, Cole Pern and Greg Emmer have been away from. Have they done one race in these new cars? Do they have any clue what it's about? That's what the biggest problem is. These new cars are tricky, different, not at all what they won a championship with, and be.
Greg's probably listening. You probably just knocked him off his tractor with that.
Yeah. I think the main reason Greg left was he did not like these new cars after he saw all the, the templates of what they were going to be. That was his big issue, and a lot of what he said was true about these cars.
Boy, isn't that true? And what a career ender it has been for Rowdy since he got out of that thing, too. But, hey, this week, as you know, Chris Rice, who was the voice of PRN radio. And
Doug Rice.
Doug Rice. Chris Rice is a totally different guy. He retired. Doug Rice did after this season, and they named Brad Gilley to be the new play-by-play guy on PRN. So congratulations to Brad. That's really cool. Been around the sport a long time, and certainly deserving, and going to be a nice step up for him. So pretty cool. Boy, we don't really have a lot of people that we can. There's no races to predict. We're probably better off that way sometimes, aren't we?
Well, we could predict the big league.
Yeah, who's going to win the big league?
The big league.
I got my pick.
Oh, of course. You're in bed with the crew chief. You got to pick that guy. I'm going to go with Johnny Sauter to win 2 in a row down there. I mean, we've got so many good drivers going from up here. It'd be interesting to do. By the way, they announced Fox is going to have the beginning of the schedule, NBC the end, just like last year. There's 10 races in the middle. Amazon Prime is going to have 5, and TNT is going to have 5 with the same announcing crew for both. Adam Alexander, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Steve Letarte will be there's a lot of high voices right there. Oh, that's hard to listen to sometimes.
We get Letarte basically from the 600 all the way to the end of the year, because he's also doing the stuff with NBC. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, sir. That's the guy. Well, he was Earnhardt's crew chief, so they have some kind of a rapport together. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. I know it's been a little different this week, just having a podcast and listening on the internet, but we do appreciate it. And for all of us involved, remember that real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losi, and for all of us, thanks for being here. We'll see you next week, live on the radio.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.